Yetta, are SMART goals smart?
They could be smarter.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We have been honored, really, for over 30 years to not only help you sell, buy, and invest in real estate over 3,117 times, but really come alongside you to build your faith, build your finances, build your fun, build your fitness, and strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. Discovery. Discovery is an exciting thing to me because that means there's more out there. Mm-hmm. There's more for me to do. And so we're going to discover that SMART goals could in fact be smarter. Mm-hmm. So by adding the ER on the word SMART, we get a whole new access. We get to discover that there's more.
Yeah. And we're not going to take authorship on this because we can't. We've taken it directly out of Dianna's book, Dianna Kokoszka, Becoming More. On her chapter around goals, she talks about adding ER to the SMART acronym. Remember, SMART is specific, measurable, audacious,
or ambitious, or aspirational,
relevant, and timely. So the E and the R, the E is
emotions. And like I thought when I first read it, I went, emotions. Like, why do I want to get emotional about my goals? And it's like, oh, wait, that makes a whole lot of sense, actually. Let's get emotionally connected to the goals. Mm-hmm. And by writing it out in my hand, not just typing it on a computer, which is often what I do with my goal setting anyway, but this was why it works so much better, right? There's actually a transference that happens when we take something that's in our thoughts and we handwrite it versus we type it. Mm-hmm. And that's not as common today. I mean, I type more things than I write, although I do journal in my writing, and I've tried to journal in computer typing, even with an iPad with the stylus and all that. Not the same for me. Some people seem to master it. So we want to be emotionally connected to it.
Yep.
Because emotions cause us to act, whereas logic only causes us to think.
Right. Emotions are what drives action. And you want action to move towards your goal. So how do you create emotions? Yeah. You create them by describing what it'll be like when you reach your goal. It could be how it feels, what it tastes like, who's around you, what's your feeling in your body when you reach it, right? Like for some, it's, as a couple, it might be a goal of reaching a financial milestone. It might be buying an investment property. It might be buying your first home. It could be, you're going to run a marathon together, or, what's it feel like when you cross the finish line, you break through the tape? Maybe other people have gone before you. It doesn't matter if they get there first. But you visualize going through the tape at the finish line. And that creates a picture. Now, you have a harder time seeing pictures in your head. So maybe you do as well. Or maybe it's very easy for you to vividly see things. But if you can't see it, you can still read it.
And I can sense
feel
it.
And I sense it.
Right. I get the words in my head, which I know. Mm-hmm.
So that's why unusual. When you write your goal, write the description of what it's like and then read it. And why do we want to do that? Because it puts it into the subconscious. And something that's not everybody recognizes is the conscious brain sets goals, right? We do it with logic. We set goals with logic, with the conscious brain. The subconscious is the one that goes and gets the goal. And if you don't believe in it, your subconscious will sabotage and you won't get it. But if your subconscious believes it, you will automatically bring things into your life or do things. You'll do the actions that are required to reach that goal.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Dianna, the reason we're reading this book, if you weren't listening to segment A and B, we'll say it's because she was a mentor of ours and she gave us access to the advanced reader copy. So yes, we have them before it's even out in the world, and it will be out in a few days. So if you haven't gone on to Amazon, either .com or .ca, depending on what country you're in, because we have people that listen to Life's Inside Track, not only in the Ottawa market, although that's what we talk about when it comes to real estate. The rest of our conversation is a very global conversation. Mm-hmm. And so we want to be able to give you access to not only local information, but also global. And so together at dekkerteam.com, you just send us an email and we'll invite you in. And this time we're inviting you in to Dianna's book club.
Right. So and in the subject, book club, if you want to be part of our book club, we're going to read it together with a bunch of people. My goal is 100 people. We're going to read probably a couple chapters a week. They're not long chapters. And then we're going to discuss them. And when you discuss things, you bring forth even more, right?
It creates some more emotion even as you're emotionally engaged with your goals.
Yeah. And the book's not just about setting goals. That's just one of the chapters that we're briefly discussing. So your emotions will drive your subconscious, which will drive you towards your goal, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's the R for?
The R. Okay, so this one I really like. The R is for reward. And when I say the word reward, I think of how do I get to celebrate? How do I get to acknowledge? How do I appreciate the wins that I'm having, not just at the end, but what are the rewards that I get as I measure my goal? When we talked about measurable in the last segment, what do I get to do as a result? How do I get to reward myself?
Yeah. And that's another part.
Or my partner.
Yes. Reward your partner. I like that.
It's because I
like that part.
You do, right?
You can reward me as much as you want.
Right. Especially because when we do things as a relational couple or even in a small circle with relational friends, even in the book club, there's an energy that will exist and it will be fun to reward each other and celebrate with each other.
Yeah. And we talked a bit about the brain, the conscious, the subconscious, and the subconscious wants a reward. It likes to have completion. That's why sometimes when you have an important job to do, you don't do it and you do the laundry instead, because doing the laundry, although some people don't do the laundry, they hate doing it, but doing the laundry, you get instant results, basically. An hour later, it goes into the dryer, half an hour later or whatever, you pull it out, you fold it, you put it away. Something got accomplished within the day. Sometimes goals are long. Yeah. And remember I talked about that gap a little earlier in the show? If the gap's too big, it seems unreasonable to reach the goal. And that's why you need to break it down into steps in your plan. And when you reach a step, that's the time to have a little celebration. Not a big one like you reached the main goal, but a little celebration to celebrate that you've accomplished something. You've moved towards your worthwhile goal, which means you're having success.
Right. And what is happy for you to accomplish and how you want to reward yourself will be different than Ken. Ken's is generally speaking focused around food. He likes his food. Mine are generally never focused around food. Mine are generally focused around quality time with people I love. Right? So we get to decide. It doesn't have to look a certain way. You get to determine it for yourself. That's what makes it so much fun doing it together, because you get ideas from other people that maybe you didn't come up with before either.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So our challenge to you is to book a day off with your significant other and set goals, first of all, individually, and then come together and see where there's connection, where their goals are the same, and see where goals are different and whether you can buy into each other's goals. And we're thankful that you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.